Following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Conor Commentary, a hilarious take on news, politics, sports, and current events. It's time to buckle up. Here's Conor.
All right, guys, we are back, week 13, and I have special guest Brittany Baldissari in the studio. Well, you go by Brittany Baldi, right?
I go by both, so it's
okay.
Kind of interesting. My actual last name is Baldissari, but Baldi actually stems from way back in the day when I played sports. People shortened up my last name and called me Baldi, and it just kind of stuck. So that's been my stage name.
That makes sense.
How's it going, guys?
There you go. So you are the producer of The Boss Babes, right? And obviously the host, you and Emma do it. So
Correct.
You guys have been doing that since June, you said, right?
Yeah, so I'm the executive producer of a sports entertainment show called The Boss Babes, short for Boston and Women Empowerment.
Okay, I was going to actually ask you that. Is that more for Boston, like the boss, or like Boss B-O-S-S, or both?
It's a combination of both. So the way that I formulated the show and the idea, I've actually had this idea in my head for years now. And over the summer, I just decided to pull the trigger.
Right.
Have one of my really good friends working on it with me. And yeah, it's just a compilation of Boston and Boss Babes.
That makes sense. Yeah, so it all came into fruition. And you guys are behind the scenes at like everything in Boston. Whenever I go on there, I always see you're doing something with charity or some sort of like Boston athlete event. So that's awesome. We'll get into all that. I'm going to do the troll of the week, and I'm going to give my mom's picks. My mom had the perfect week this week. Pete Briscoe, we know you're listening now. You want to know why? Because you're the troll of the week. So I don't know if you guys remember, Ed, you definitely remember, way back, this was a few months ago now, we had Mikey Goodboy on, my friend Mike Maggs, the dating expert.
Oh,
so,
I remember him well.
You remember him well, okay. So he taught us all about the dating apps, but he was giving Pete Briscoe a hard time because he never answers me. Every week I put my mom's picks out there and I pin her against an expert to see who's winning. My mom's winning handily, but he kept at him. So he said he was asking him something about what he was doing or he was making for the day. And Pete Briscoe said, "I'm making loser soup. You guys want some?" We did not want any loser soup there, Pete. As my mom went 14-0 last week, she picked every single game right. So the tally there, my mom's now 15 games up. So she went 14-0. Pete Briscoe went 9-5. That brings it to my mom, 106 wins, 55 losses, 1 tie. Pete Briscoe, 91-69-1. So, Pete, you got a lot of ground to cover up. Right, Ed? I told you in the beginning, you were saying even before the show, you thought that was a bold prediction to come out and say that.
But, I got to say, your mom is killing it.
She's killing it.
And, I have a special request. If she wins,
yep,
we've got to get her on the show. I mean, the listeners and viewers want to see.
That's what they want to see. I agree, Mom. So if you're listening, we'll have to make a special guest and we'll get your predictions for the playoffs. If and when you beat Pete come week 17. But I think 15 games at this point is a pretty safe lead.
I think we need to ask Pete what would be in this loser soup.
That's a good question. I don't know what constitutes loser soup, but we weren't interested in having any. Apparently, Pete. I don't know what that is. Do you know him? I know you're on like involved in TV, and he's from like CBS.
No, I don't know who he is. But that's interesting that he came up with a really funny one-liner like that.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of interested in trying to figure out what the heck is in this loser soup. So Pete, if you're watching, leave a comment. Let us know what would be in loser soup.
I'm gonna put this, and I'm gonna add him now, so he's gonna see it. He's gonna see it. He's on CBS. He's on channel 4. So I figured like a bunch of people would know him. You're like the 13th guest I've had on. I don't think anyone's known him yet. So I'm like, this is kind of a dud. I did it because I was like, everyone will know him. He's from Channel 4. And then everyone's like, who's Pete Briscoe? But we're still coming for you, Pete. We got another 6 weeks. Let's see. Let's get my mom's picks here. So Thursday night, Houston, Indianapolis. My mom's going to go Houston. Then we have Cleveland, Miami. My mom's going to take Cleveland. That should be an easy one. Washington, Detroit. My mom's going to take Detroit. Then we have Buffalo and Denver. My mom is going to go Buffalo. From there, we got Atlanta, Tampa Bay. My mom's going to go Atlanta. Philadelphia, Seattle. That's going to be a good game. My mom is going to take Philly with the upset special. That was a close game last week, huh?
The upset special.
The upset special. That's the pick of the week there. I was a little nervous in that one. 17-10. It came right down to it. But of course, the Patriots defense held strong.
Yeah, I was actually kind of nervous watching that game as well, and I mentioned it during my show last night. I essentially said,
I heard that. You're like, I was getting nervous.
I was getting nervous because if they lost, I would have to talk about another loss because they just lost before the bye week as well. And I know that Tom Brady would be taking a huge hit because obviously the first half of their season, it was just all easy teams. They literally looked like D1 college kids playing Pop Warner children. Like they were just dominating. Now they're starting to get in the meat and potatoes of their season. And it's one of those things where if they don't start kicking butt, they're going to get crap talked on the media.
Oh, yeah, completely. So, although that works out for them sometimes because they like thrive off of it. They love to hear people talk crap, and then that gets them going. It sparks them. Yeah,
sparks
exactly.
The plug.
Sparks the plug. But the defense held strong. I mean, it's hard to lose if you only give up 10 points. Let's see. We got New Orleans, Carolina. My mom's going to take New Orleans in that one. We have Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. My mom's going to take Pittsburgh. I don't know if that poor team's going to win a game all year. We got the Jets in Oakland. My mom is taking Oakland. Chicago, the Giants. She's going to take Chicago. Shout out Jimmy Hayes. Tennessee, Jacksonville. My mom's going to take Tennessee. The Patriots, Dallas. She's going with the Patriots. You have to. We'll see. What do you think that record's going to be?
I don't know. It's tough. I don't really want to jinx it, but
touche, yeah.
It's one of those things where I don't really want to jinx it, and people will always ask me, "Are they going to go to the Super Bowl?" The Patriots, and again, I don't want to jinx their season. Would I like to see them go to the Super Bowl?
Right.
Who doesn't? And is there a good chance they're going to go to the Super Bowl? Hell yes, there's a good chance they're going to go to the Super Bowl. But when it comes to like records and what they're doing, I try to just keep my mouth shut and let the season play out as it is.
Yeah.
Very Bill Belichick answer. I understand that.
That is a very Bill Belichick answer. I like that.
And I don't care. 13-3.
13-3. Okay, that's a good prediction. And I was thinking either 14-2 or 13-3.
So who do you think they're going to lose to?
I was just going to ask you that.
They're going to
Kansas City. You think they're going to lose to the Chiefs? Because that's one of my top games. I can't wait to watch them play the Chiefs.
That's going to be a great game.
They're going to have trouble with the Texans too.
Okay, because Deshaun Watson's similar to Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, Bengals, and let's not forget, they got to play the Bills again.
The Bills play them really tough. They're not a cupcake like they used to be.
They're not a cupcake. I just said they're not a cupcake.
They like to lose to Miami once a year, usually in Miami.
They already beat them in Miami, though, right? Yep. So this one's in New England.
This one's in New England.
And it's at the very end of the season, so it's going to be freezing cold. And I feel bad for some of those teams that win like 3 games the whole year, and now it's like the last game of the season. They have nothing to play for. I think they just want to go home. Yeah. Like they've gotten their bodies beat to crap for 17 weeks. The season's over.
They want to start the off season real quick.
Yeah, they want to go on vacation. Like it's been a long season. So we'll see. I like that prediction, 13-3. So I think they might lose one of the next 3, but the Bengals, the Bills, and the Miami is a wonderful way to end the year.
It really is.
With those 3 games.
But then people like to talk about the trap games.
That's true. That's true. And they do fall into them sometimes. Yep. Last year with Tennessee, that was like a trap game. So let's see. San Francisco and Green Bay, that's like the game of the week. That's going to be huge. My mom is going to take the 49ers. She's a big Jimmy G fan.
She's a Jimmy G fan.
She's a Jimmy G fan. Are you?
You got to love some Jimmy G. Who doesn't love Jimmy G? I mean, former New England Patriot.
Yep.
Great quarterback. It was sad to see him go, but obviously if you're that talented of a quarterback, you shouldn't be sitting behind somebody and wasting your career away.
That's true.
Behind somebody like Tom Brady. If that were me, you already had, what does he already have? Like a ring or 2? I don't even know if he ever got any rings. I'm assuming he got a few rings while he's with the team, but at that point it's like,
right, and he's getting the rings as a backup. Yeah,
you're
kind of different.
Yeah, it's like you're not really playing for the team, so why not use your skills and actually play for a team and help them win. And you might not ever win a ring with that team, but at least you're getting some W's under your belt. Yeah. You're the one kicking butt and not sitting on the bench the whole time.
And it's going great for him so far because he's killing it out there.
He is killing it.
They're 9-1 as well, right? I think they got the same record as the Patriots. So
I remember seeing something recently. It was like Jacoby Brissett, Jimmy G, and Tom Brady, and they're talking about all the former quarterbacks from New England, how Bill Belichick knows how to pick his goddamn quarterback.
Yeah,
so
apparently.
He's doing something right.
Yeah, because now all 3 of them are having great years. Even the Colts are probably going to make the playoffs at this point. So we'll see. All right, and then the last one's Monday night. Wow, Rams, Baltimore. My mom is going to take Baltimore. That's going to be another good one. So we'll see there. And just before we even get into it, we'll talk the Boss Babes, everything like that. I know that you know the Gronkowskis. So yesterday with the big announcement, did you have any feeling that he was going to unretire, or did you know this was going to be the Gronk Beach Party or the CBD or whatever it was going to be?
So I know the Gronkowski brothers very well. Actually, Rob and I, we've known each other for years. We did a TV show together back in I don't even remember, like probably like 2000.
Did you? Which one was that?
9 or 10. It was called The Choice. It was like a weird, interesting dating show.
Is it? Yeah. Did you get to date Gronk?
We'll keep that under wraps.
Okay, no comment.
No comment.
No comment.
But I do know the Gronkowskis very well and their whole family very well. I'm really good friends with Gordy and Chris.
Okay.
And,
which one's Gordie? I thought the dad was Gordie.
He is. So Gordie,
he is. Okay.
So Gordie Gronkowski Jr. He's actually the oldest of the 5 brothers.
Oh, okay.
All of them come together and they have millions of projects that they're working on. Shout out to Protein Cookie. They have Stadium Blitz that they're working on right now, which is like an obstacle course. They go to different football stadiums and they set up these obstacle courses for kids to run. They also have the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation where they raise money for that. But going back to your original question, I didn't ask Gordie ahead of time what was going on. I didn't think that Rob was coming out of retirement. I mean, the guy is broken glass.
I know.
He's been injured so many times. I remember I used to go to his house and he used to have like one of those massage tables laid out and he would always get his back rubbed out. I used to actually personally say to him, I think you should retire sooner than later.
Right.
While you're young, like, call it quits while you're on top and don't end up in a wheelchair or with CTE or something. So I think all of his family members had been mentioning that to him, like, call it quits while you're on top. You have a great personality and do stuff like Gronk Beach.
Yeah.
Be an NFL analyst. Do something else with your career. And when I saw him talking about the Gronk Beach, first thing I did was I hit up Gordie and I was like, hell yeah, dude. Like, I'm thinking about booking a flight down there for Super Bowl weekend. And although I might not go to the game, if the Patriots are in the Super Bowl,
it's going to be nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, because all my friends are on the cheerleading team and like we can go to that event. We can go to the beach and get the hell out of New England and go swimming for a bit. So strongly considering going to Gronk Beach.
And it's crazy. Good for Gronk retiring because he can retire on his own terms. I know a lot of people might not know it, but he's never spent a game day check, right? So he's just been living off of all of his endorsements. So he must just have a ton of money socked away. So good for him. Now he can live life on his own terms. And you actually had them on your show, right? So when was that? A few months back, did you say?
Yeah. So back in July, I actually had Gordy and Chris, 2 of the brothers, and they talked all about the Gronk Foundation and the fact that they have Protein Cookie out. And I think they lightly mentioned that they were working on Stadium Blitz. They're going to come back on our show at some point in the early year. I don't know when, but they're great. Like when they came on, they talked all about growing up in Buffalo, New York, and the fact that they like to beat up on Rob and have fun.
God bless their mother. It was 5 of them, right? Like 5 massive boys, like who are all crazy because they're all kind of crazy, like him, right? Well, maybe not to that extent, but like 5 rowdy boys under one roof.
Yeah, I remember both of the brothers mentioning that they didn't really have a lot of furniture in their house, and they mentioned this on the show. So if you guys want to watch it on the Boss Babes, get the full interview right there. But they were talking about how their mom used to like pull the furniture out of the house so that they wouldn't get hurt, and they used to break stuff all the time. So yeah.
I can only imagine what they were up to in that house, like with all 5 of them. So I didn't even realize he had a Gordie Jr. Did he play in the NFL? Do you know?
Gordie is the only one that never actually played football. He played semi-pro baseball for a little bit, but he never played football. I mean, he can throw a football. He's tall. He's 6'5", like the rest of the brothers. But he never actually played football.
Must be nice. They're all just like physical specimens.
They are.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
genetics.
Too, yeah, I know. Seriously. Speaking of that kid on your show on Monday night, like, you guys got to check it out. It was the Ninja Warrior. His name was Alex, right? And he's from the area. He was a beast, dude. He was doing all, like, I don't even know what was he doing? It was like an obstacle course? Like, how do you even describe that? And he was doing it in boots, by the way.
Yeah, so a good friend of mine, his name is Alex Goodwin. You're correct. He grew up in Marlborough, Massachusetts. He was recently on the Boss Babes this past week, and he does these interesting courses called ninja courses.
Okay, that's what they're called.
They're called ninja courses, and he actually competed on American Ninja Warrior recently. And essentially, they're like all these. If you guys watch American Ninja Warrior, you know it's very physically and mentally draining. So like you have to have upper body strength. You need to be able to run and hold on to things and jump and. He did it in work boots, and the reason why he said that he did that was because he wanted to up the ante. And if he could do it in work boots, he can kill it and slay it and send it in sneakers or whatever. So that was his whole mindset.
Which made sense. I was surprised he said that. I'm like, is there like some advantage to doing it in work boots? But then he was just like, if you can do it in work boots, then you know that you're not going to mess up. Like, you know that you can kill it. And then I know you guys do a ton of charity work. So like, where were you before? It was the Joe Andruzzi Foundation. Was that the most recent one? I know there was Marcus Smart. I know like, you guys are constantly doing charity work in the Boston area.
Yeah, so a big focus of our show, if you guys don't know, I guess I'll backstep it a little bit. So the whole concept of our show is we take viewers behind the scenes with local sports entertainers. So whether that be an NFL cheerleader or somebody that's dating a pro athlete and came up with their own clothing line, like somebody that makes custom jackets for WAGs, like women that are dating pro athletes, or
is that like an acronym?
WAGs, yeah, wives and girlfriends of athletes.
Oh, really?
It's like a legit thing.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Yeah, WAGs.
That's
cool. We've had football players on, ice hockey players, and yes. So basically, we take people behind the scenes. We want to show people that athletes kill it on and off the field. And with that, if we're talking about them enjoying their Christmas with their family, like the Gronkowskis, or one of my friends who recently came on, her name is Alicia Capone. She's a NFL cheerleader. She has a twin, and
Oh, right. I saw that. You're going to tell the story about her meeting Tom Brady.
Yeah, so we can talk about that too. So one of my good friends, Alicia Capone, is a NFL cheerleader for the Patriots. She has a twin, and they actually started their own nonprofit that benefits young women. She's actually getting recognized December 11th. It's called Strong Her.
Okay.
The Prudential is going to be lit up pink for her.
And really?
Strong Her is getting recognized. So I'm proud of you, Alicia.
Yeah. Congratulations.
But yeah, so she was telling us the story about how her mom used to take her to an event years back before Tom Brady got super famous and was recognized when he used to be the backup.
Right, because there used to be Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, it used to be Bledsoe. So she used to go to these events just to see the cheerleaders. And I guess at one point the cheerleaders weren't there and it was just Tom, and they cried. Yeah. They cried because they met Tom Brady. So she was like,
I would probably cry if I met him too.
But this was for a bad reason, because she was like, Mom, I don't want to see Tom. I want to take pictures with the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And now she's like, I would kill it to get an actual photo with him now. But so on top of that, we have great guests in studio. We bring you behind the scenes, but then we also take you inside of charity events. So most recently, we went to the Joe Andruzzi Foundation. Joe and Jen are incredible. If a lot of you guys don't know who they are, Joe Andruzzi is a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and he and his wife started a super cool foundation where the money raised goes directly towards families. So say somebody in your family has cancer, you can reach out to them and they'll help with medical bills, mortgage, rent. It doesn't go towards research. And the reason why they started that, I actually asked Jen myself. I said, why did you guys choose cancer of all things? Why did you want to give back in that way? And I guess Joe was diagnosed with cancer, and they realized that there's so many different medical bills.
I never knew that he had cancer.
Yeah, I forget the exact cancer, so I'm not going to say it. I forget, to be honest. It might have been Hodgkin's lymphoma, but don't quote me on it. But yeah, they realized that when he was going through treatment, how much of a need it is that you need money, because you're out of work.
Right, absolutely. You don't even think about that, because when you think about cancer, you think just about the treatment, the chemo, everything that goes with it, and you think insurance might cover that, but then if you're not working, you have all these expenses still coming in. So they actually donate the money to people who are struggling with cancer from a financial standpoint.
Exactly. So that's exactly what they do. So we recently went to that event. That was great. That was at Gillette Stadium. And then that same week, we actually, I got to interview Marcus Smart.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And a bunch of the other Celtics players were there, Mayor Marty Walsh. And that one was cancer-driven as well. Marcus Smart apparently lost a couple of his family members recently, including his mother, sadly, to cancer. So he started something called the Young Game Changer Foundation, where he actually raises money, and that also helps people with cancer, and he wants to inspire the youth.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, I see. And you guys get behind the scenes to literally everything. So you're not exaggerating. You're up close and personal with everyone behind there. How do you get in? Is it just through the show, through a press pass? Because it's behind the scenes. You're talking to him, shaking hands, taking pictures. I saw a picture with Dave Andrews. How's he doing, by the way?
Yeah, so David Andrews is really cool. We actually met him at the Andruzzi Foundation. Dave was super sweet. It was good to see him out and about and supporting the Andruzzi Foundation. He's doing very well, and I congratulated him on a good season so far. But yeah, the reason why we get into these events is people are starting to recognize our show and how great we are at giving back.
Right.
And the fact that we're putting out a good product. So essentially, at the beginning, yes, I had to reach out to people, but now it's a combination of me reaching out and foundations actually reaching out to us, which is nice, and we're grateful and thankful for that. And Emma and I are actually in the process. We just did our first ever charity event ourselves in September. We collected a bunch of back to school items and sporting goods, and we donated them to local. I brought some of my stuff to the Boys and Girls Club, and Emma brought some of her stuff elsewhere. So not only are we attending these different charities, but we're also doing our own stuff for the community as well.
Right. So is that a thing you're going to keep doing like every year to continue going with it?
Yeah, eventually we want to do more than that. Like, and we're also getting involved with other communities' events. If you want to actually maybe be on our team,
absolutely.
In January 26th, we're going to be a part of the Be Fit Challenge for the Boston Bruins. It's a first responder event.
Okay.
You have to like climb the stairs or do something at TD Garden, and you're raising money for something to do with the first responders.
You're right.
We're putting together a team, and we're going to do it together and like film it and stuff. But
that sounds really cool. I'll have to figure out a way to get involved in that. So you're going to climb the stairs at TD Garden, you think?
Yeah, I don't know the exact logistics of it, but it's something to do with raising money for first responders, and they're setting up some type of an obstacle course at the Garden at the end of January.
Right. I know that they do a bunch of those types of things, like the run for home base, I think it is, at Fenway. So it's cool to see them all like contributing, doing all different things at the sporting events. Because Joe Andruzzi's thing was at Gillette Stadium, right?
Yeah, it actually was at the Putnam Suite. So It was literally right at Gillette.
Was Robert Kraft there?
I did not see Bob Kraft. He might have been there. Bob Sweeney, who's one of the head people for the Boston Bruins Foundation, former Bruins alumni.
Oh, right, yeah.
Was there. There was a lot of either current athletes or former athletes. I actually met Ayla Brown, who's a former NCAA basketball player. I interviewed her.
She's on the radio now, isn't she?
Yeah, she's on like
that country station. Okay, yeah, I know her. I've listened to that. It's in the morning.
Yeah, she's super nice. Because she's like super tall, so she had to take her shoes off.
Super tall, did she?
She took her shoes off when I interviewed her. She's like, "Britt, you're awesome. Like, so you can interview me. I'll take my heels off and everything." I was like, "Hell yeah!" Oh yeah,
she had heels. You would have been like
which I'm used to, right?
But actually, yeah, you interviewed Marcus Smart. So how tall was he? Like 6'9" or something crazy?
He's actually not that tall. He's probably, I'd say, so the guy that I'm dating right now is 6'5". So I'm no stranger to dating people or being around people that are tall. So
that's really tall. Yeah, that's Rob Gronkowski height.
Rob Gronkowski height.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'd ballpark it that Marcus Smart is around 6'2", 6'3".
Oh, really?
So still tall, but not like mammoth tall like Gordie or Rob.
Right, because when you think about the basketball players, you think they're going to be like 6'10".
Dude, know who was super tall? I didn't interview him, but what's his name? Taco Fall? Taco?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he was mammoth.
I think that's like his claim to fame. He came from a different country, I'm pretty sure, right? Like they brought him over here to play for the Celtics. Do you know, Ed? Because I don't know what brought him here. He's like 7'2" or something.
Dude,
like some Yao Ming type thing, yeah. And his name's Taco, right?
It's legit like Taco, but it's spelled like Tako, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Something like that. Huh. I know that the kid we had a couple weeks ago, the Spiking, I think he does some stuff with him. I think he knows him.
He's from Senegal.
He's from Senegal. Where is that?
You know, Senegal.
Senegal. You know Senegal.
I don't know where that is. Never heard of it before.
I was going to say, there's a lot of countries out there that I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I'm not the best at geography, so I'm not even going to act like I know where the heck that is.
But when you think about it, there's like 170 countries. So if you ask someone to name them, I think I'd get to like 30.
I probably would get to like 5.
Yeah, so I don't know, America, Canada, Mexico, all the other continents. But no, you guys go to all these charity events, which is awesome. Keep giving back to the community, keep doing all that. But you get to meet so many Boston athletes. Do you have like, I know you're good friends with the Gronkowskis. Do you have like a favorite person or like people who you've met who are just like super nice and down to earth?
Honestly, it might sound cliche to say, but everybody that I've met so far is super awesome. Like very down to earth, very willing to talk about their charities and what they're doing and how helpful they are for the community. One of our favorite groups of people that we enjoy working with, we absolutely love the NHL Bruins alumni team.
Okay, I've seen you guys with that, yeah.
Yeah, we've covered a few of their events, and Bob Sweeney is great. Frank Simonetti is awesome. His wife is incredible. A lot of people mention that we should go out to eat to Tresca. Ray Bork is part owner of that restaurant.
Oh, is he? Where is it?
I think it's in the North End.
Is it? Okay, so is it like an Italian spot?
It's an Italian spot. I haven't been there yet, but I've heard a lot of great things. But yeah, I love the NHL Bruins alumni team. The Patriots are obviously great. The cheerleaders, I feel like everybody does so many good things. It's hard to say like who's my favorite and who isn't.
Right.
Because everybody is giving back to a different foundation or a different charity and impacting the community in a different way.
Right, and it's great to see because you literally cover everyone from the Celtics, the Bruins, all the major sports teams, and there's all these different people giving back, and I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to see that.
Which is why I started my show, guys.
Right. And especially with the Gronkowskis, because you're getting into all the things that they do, and you just see Gronk on TV always yelling, going crazy, and you don't realize that he's got the Gronk Foundation going on behind the scenes. What does that contribute to?
So the Gronk Nation Youth Foundation, what they like to do is they collect money and they, Gordie actually funds it.
Okay.
So they go to different gyms in the area. So one of the most recent they do them all the time, but the one that I filmed, they went to Billerica High, and they go and they call it Gronking out the gyms.
Oh, really?
So they redo gyms in the area for kids that are either less fortunate or that just need new workout equipment, because their whole motto is stay off the streets, like work out, stay fit. So they literally go and like just Gronk out gyms and redo all the equipment and stuff like that.
That's crazy, because I've been following Gronk obviously since he came to the team, and I had no idea that that's what they did or that he was even involved in that. I even saw something the other day. Bill Belichick has a foundation as well doing similar stuff like that. I was just reading about that, like him and his girlfriend, Linda Holiday.
Linda Holiday.
Is that her name? Have you met her?
I have not met Linda or Bill yet. I'd love to meet them, and I'd love to get involved with their foundations too at some point. But yeah, they obviously must do a ton of good for the community as well.
Right, it's crazy. You don't even see it because it's going on behind the scenes until you come and do it. So what are the plans going forward for the Boss Babes? You have some stuff lined up, some things you guys have in the works?
Yeah, so the next plan is to just be getting it out there, more open and outspoken about it. We'd love to get it on other outlets, whether that be on Spotify or I don't know, like other podcasts and such. We want to basically make it easier for people to watch it and listen to when they want to. So that's kind of like the next step, and going to as many events as we can, meeting as many people as we can, and basically just like showcasing our talents and having a good time. That's what this career is all about, is giving back to the community, having fun while you're doing it, and just having a damn good time.
I mean, it seems that you guys are. You've had a bunch of really good guests. I know you had Charles Rosa. Do you have anybody planned going forward? Any specific people?
So we recently had Charles Rosa. He's a local MMA fighter, just won a couple weeks ago out here in Boston. He's actually coming back in town next week. I think him and I are going to go ice skating. And
there you go.
We're planning on going to the Gronk Beach together. If I do go to the Gronk Beach.
If you do go, he's going to go. Okay.
Yeah.
He's a big Patriots fan, he said, right?
He's a big Patriots fan, and he actually knows the Gronkowskis, and he lives down in Florida. So if I go with some friends, we might actually crash with him at his house in Florida.
There you go. That's a good setup.
So it's a good setup. Who do I have coming on? So December 2nd, what we're going to be doing is doing a wrap-up show. So we're having Taylor Higgins, who is already on our show. She's a former NHL Bruins ice girl, and she also wrote her own book, best-selling author.
Oh, really?
Called Between the Stitching. She's coming back in. She's going to be like a guest host. But we're going to do like a recap of like best guest on our show and best charities. And then the last one to wrap up 2019, we're having my friend Nick Taziopoulos. Sorry if I butchered your last name.
I was going to say, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, he's coming into studio. He runs a really cool program called the Militia Ice Hockey. So he's from the area, played college hockey, and he started this really cool thing called Militia Hockey, where young kids learn how to play hockey, and they develop their skills. But then he also does hockey tournaments. So he did one a few months back where Charlie Coyle was there. We covered it. Charlie Coyle, Charlie McAvoy. So a bunch of the Bruins ice hockey players and whatnot were like skating together to raise money for some type of first responder fund.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you guys have that going on. And it comes out every other Monday, right?
Yeah, every other Monday. So if you guys want to watch the next one is December 2nd and then December 16th. And then we're going to break for a couple weeks for the holiday and then be back January 2nd.
Awesome. All right, guys. So check it out. What did you have to say, Ed?
This is your geography lesson for the day.
All right.
Senegal is on the west coast of Africa.
The west coast of Africa. Okay.
Yeah, so, and you know Africa well. It goes without saying. It's north of Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone, that's like a song by Kanye West. Isn't it like famous for like jewelry or something though? Or am I making that up?
I think is that where the blood diamonds are out of Sierra Leone?
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so now you learned.
Now we learned.
It's
always educational with you, Ed. That's why you always come through with the information for us. All right, so The Boss Babes, it is out December 2nd. Take a look. All right, follow us Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, like. We'll be back next week. Thanks, guys.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.